Hello, everybody. You've tuned in to the Indiana State Police Roadshow, brought to you by the Indiana State Police Alliance, Cops for Kids, a subsidiary of the Indiana State Police Alliance, and Tom Trial, our man behind the scene, who puts us on YouTube each and every week for the YouTube site. Make sure you go to the Indiana State Police YouTube site and catch all of our Indiana State Police Roadshows that have been produced by Tom. So thank you very much, Tom Trial. Got a new guest with us today, Sergeant Stephanie Thompson. Thank you for being here, Stephanie. I appreciate you coming down here this morning,
Thanks
all the way from the Lafayette area, right?
Yes.
So what got Stephanie Thompson interested in becoming an Indiana State Trooper way back when?
I think I was about 7.
Really?
And my mom got stopped by a state trooper. I grew up in Versailles, so of course there's a post.
Did you remember?
I have no idea.
Okay.
But I just thought it was the most cool thing on the earth, and that just pushed me that direction. I had 2 uncles that were also police officers for Madison and state excise, so it just kind of guided me that direction.
So were you in Versailles when you went to the academy?
Well, I went to ISU, Indiana State University, and graduated. So I technically applied out of Terre Haute area, but I grew up in Versailles.
So where did you get assigned to when you got out of the academy?
Lafayette.
Yeah.
Never left.
So that was that one of your? Did you get put down the 3 places you wanted to go?
No, I was. So I've been in December will be 19 years that I graduated, and we were not one of the classes that got to have a wish list.
Really? So it's just here's where you're going.
That is right.
So you start out in Lafayette, worked the road?
Yes, worked the road. I think it was pushing 7 years. Then I transitioned into investigations. Did that for almost 3 years, and then I was asked to come down and be on the executive protection. Did that for about 9 months with Governor Daniels.
Okay.
And then a position back up in Lafayette opened. It was the crime scene investigator. So I applied for that and was accepted and did that for about 6.5 years before then transitioning into Polygraph.
Wow, I'll have to have you back on the show then to talk about the crime scene part of it. That's very interesting to me also. But we're here today to talk about the Polygraph. And how long have you been doing that now?
It is almost 4 years.
So prior to going into that, did you know a lot about it? Or was it an eye-opener on what you could do and what you couldn't do with the polygraph?
Well, as an investigator, I used it as a tool often.
Okay.
So the examiner that was in our area, Larry Keipke, I definitely utilized him. So I had watched many polygraphs and definitely had that interest. And I really never thought he would retire while I was still on the department to be able to have the position. So the fact that he did retire and the position opened, it was a blessing.
So what does it take if you apply for the polygraph? Is there a polygraph school? Do we do it in-house? How does that work out?
Well, first, even to apply, you have to have a Bachelor of Science degree.
Okay.
So that is one of the minimum requirements, along with living in the area, of course. But
right.
So after state police decides you are the best candidate, then we do outsource this training, and it is with the National Counterterrorism Center in Dantown Gap, Pennsylvania.
Wow.
So I went there from January until the end of March.
Wow.
So it's a pretty intensive schooling. It was 6 days a week. So there was only a couple breaks and a couple times I got to come home. But so that is the schooling that Indiana State Police usually utilizes, at least for the last 5 years, 5 to 6 years.
So this is the police agencies from all over the nation come there?
Yes, and it is only for police officers. There are other polygraph schools in the nation, but that is one that is solely for police officers.
Once your schooling's completed, I know when I went to a bomb tech school, we had to go back and recertify every 3 years. Is that true with the polygraph?
Well, it's continued education.
Okay.
As soon as you graduate, it's not you're blessed and you get to go do polygraphs on your own. We are actually blessed in another way that we have a program with state police that you have to do your internship.
Kind of an FTO.
Yes. So I had to do 100 examinations that were monitored by another examiner that was already certified. So I was constantly getting good feedback on how to be a better examiner and things that I was doing very well. And so it was a constant education in that first year, and definitely, and the goal is to have your 100 tests in that first year. And that's amazing, actually, because I talked to examiners that I graduated polygraph school with.
Right.
They still to this day haven't done 100 exams. So, and that was 4 years ago. So the fact that we stay so busy and do so many tests, very easy to get that first 100 done in that first year, and then have to do a mock trial in front of my peers. So I'm actually questioned just like I would be in court about the polygraph, and then if I am successful, then it is sent to the superintendent where he approves it, and then I'm released to be on my own.
Do you find that the state police that's one of our unique niches, is to be able to offer this polygraph to other not a lot of other departments are be able to sustain that person, correct?
Yes, it is, because the schooling and the equipment is it's an expensive endeavor.
Right.
So state police, there's only 6 of us with state police.
In the state?
Yes.
Wow.
So, and the fact that we are utilized by not only Indiana State Police, both road and investigators, but also with other agencies such as city, county,
Right.
town marshals, and probably, to be honest, city and counties are my biggest clients.
Right.
They call me the most.
But you also keep busy, I know, with our background investigations on every trooper that comes through. And do we do civilian also?
Yes. The applicants are a big part of our year, that's for sure. So usually at the beginning of the year, state police is full on into their hiring process, and that's where we are in that process. I think we're soon after the physical. So after they complete the physical interview, and then they come to us. So we have a lot of applicants that want to be state troopers. So applicants that want to be state troopers, that want to be Capitol police officers, motor carrier, and then also on the civilian side, we have our crime scene investigator, the evidence clerks. So they are a civilian position, and they have to take a polygraph prior to being hired. And then there's the intelligence section that they also have to take a polygraph before being hired.
Wow, you've got a very busy job.
It keeps us busy, especially with just 6 of us.
Well, again, you're listening to the Indiana State Police Roadshow, brought to you by the Indiana State Police Alliance, Cops for Kids. I'm speaking with Sergeant Stephanie Thompson. She works out of the laboratory division, a polygraph operator. So walk me through this a little bit. If somebody requests a polygraph from you, either us or a city or a town, is there certain criteria that has to be met before that even takes place?
Yes, a full investigation needs to have happened. They should be bringing us one of the highest likely individual that maybe committed the crime.
So this is not going to be the start of the investigation?
No, this is very much towards the very end. They might have most of them have already been interviewed several times prior to coming to us. It's completely voluntary. The investigator has to make sure that they not only have completed their investigation, but they have to make sure that that individual is fit to be able to take a polygraph. Are they medically sound? I don't want to be responsible, nor does state police want to be responsible for an individual that just had a heart attack last month.
Right.
So there's certain things that we need to make sure are happening prior to coming in, and there's we have lab standards and SOPs, and they're called PEBs, but they're bulletins to explain to the investigator what is needed in order to even ask for a polygraph.
Now, are these conducted at various places, or is there one place that you do these, or how do that happen?
We do have specific sites. I can't just go to any agency and do the test there, because there's certain equipment that is required to do the polygraph. So the state police has provided all of us examiners with multiple sites to be able to do the tests. Like my sites are Lowell, so the Lowell laboratory up in Lowell, that is my primary site, and then Lafayette is a secondary. The Indianapolis Lab has 2 different suites. We call them suites because they're very specific to a polygraph. They have soundproof walls. They're very sterile environment. We don't want that individual to be subjected to anything that they feel that they were being forced to be there, or that they had inappropriate responses because
outside interference or something like
some
that.
noise that would spark a response. So.
Yeah, I understand that. So what exactly are you looking for on what are you monitoring when you're giving a polygraph?
Well, we monitor the autonomic nervous system. So, like the heart, nobody can, they can't, the heart is monitored by your brain. You can't tell your heart to stop right now, nor can you tell it to jack up to 200.
Right.
So that is what part of the autonomic nervous system that we're looking at. The electricity flowing through your body to cause sweat, your blood volume, your muscles tensing or reacting, and even the part of that autonomic nervous system is even pupils. We just haven't gotten to that point of monitoring that. So what I am monitoring is the blood pressure. They're all things that the brain controls, not the individual controls. So what I'm looking at is when I'm asking the specific questions for the case, is an individual having a response to that question? Because if they've been 100% truthful and weren't involved, they're not going to have a response. Their brain doesn't need to protect them. It doesn't have to have a response. So I see nice, pretty, even lines when an individual is being truthful.
Now, a lot of times, are you trying to prove also that they didn't have anything to do with this as opposed to did?
I'm very unbiased. And then the investigator might be bringing me who they think is the best suspect in this case, but it doesn't mean they are.
Right.
So I stay completely unbiased, and I trust my charts. So I trust their body that their responses are genuine. So
now you say charts. That's an interesting question that I had too. When I went back and did mine for the academy, there was actual charts that they had. Is that still true, or is it on a computer now?
It is all computerized now. The analog is kind of outdated. There are some examiners out there probably that still use it, but we are blessed that have the computerized now. So yeah.
So that's a print out, or you can print it out to give to the investigator or something if they need it later on.
Yes.
So what are some misconceptions? I can beat this polygraph. There's part of this that
there's individuals that think they can. They are indeed pathological liars. They think they lie to everybody, and they've been caught. So they have not been caught so many times that they think, I can go in here and beat this. The thing is your brain recalls a memory of you doing that act. So if you indeed do that act, your brain is trying to protect you and sends out those impulses to that autonomic nervous system, which is what we're watching. So a pathological liar is not going to pass the test. The other misconceptions, there's plenty of information out there on the internet how to beat a polygraph.
Right.
What they don't know is our experience. We have conducted hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of exams on top of our training, thousands of hours of training. We know what it looks like, and as soon as we see it, we call the individual out on it. If they want to continue, then we'll just stop the test. It's not worth our time nor theirs, because if an individual is trying to beat the test, they're probably lying.
Right, exactly.
So
yeah.
I encourage everybody, if they're willing to come this far to take the test, then don't do anything crazy and try to manipulate the test. There's things that they try to do, but we see it instantly. And as an applicant, it is the worst thing for you to do. Indiana State Police, at least in the almost 4 years that I've been doing it, we don't tolerate it.
Right.
If we see it, they're eliminated from our process.
Yeah, I think we've told them before that even if you have something in your background, it's better to be truthful about it.
Yes, it's your time to have a clean slate and start fresh.
Yeah. So from the time that you worked with whoever was in there before with you, has things changed besides a computer?
Yes, actually, we have become accredited, and that was within the last couple of years. So that accreditation, it just ensures that we are going through the proper procedures and we're doing the best test procedures. And that's what State Police is constantly ensuring. We quality assure every one of our tests. We want to make sure that we are giving the candidate or that client the best test possible every single time.
Well, Stephanie, we're down to 34 seconds. I appreciate you being here with me today. You've explained a lot of this about me and done a great job with it, and I appreciate what you do with the department, and I'd like to have you back sometime.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Again, you've been listening to the Indiana State Police Roadshow, brought to you by the Indiana State Police Alliance and Cops for Kids. Sergeant Stephanie Thompson with the Indiana State Police Laboratory Division, now with the Polygraph part of the Indiana State Police Laboratory Division. So we appreciate you being here and speaking to us about that very important aspect of the department. Thank you for tuning in to the Roadshow. The Roadshow will catch you next week. Roadshow out.